Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary and high school age. Today is going to be my April reading update, so let's get into it. If you are new, welcome. I would love for you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified of all of my future videos. I love reading. You guys will know that if you've been here for any length of time. If you're new, it's a big thing in my life. However, this month has been a terrible month of reading for me. Have I been reading every day? Yes, I have. How long have I been reading every day? Maybe 5 minutes. And I have only finished 3 books. It is April 24th when I'm recording this, so it is still possible that I will finish some more books over the next several days. Those will be in May's reading update if I do. I am going to share all of the books that I have from the library, as well as the books that I have actually finished, and then some of the books that I'm hoping to get to sooner rather than later. I can't believe that I've only finished 3 books this month. That is crazy to me. But honestly, I really should have understood that when I set up my month and saw how many appointments we had on the schedule. I have not been home barely at all, and oftentimes, well, the majority of my reading is done at night, but by the time we are ready for bed and I'm ready to read, I am ready to sleep. So it has been so busy and I've been exhausted. So I'm essentially just going straight to bed and not doing any reading. And then on the weekends, when I typically will read on Sundays for a good chunk of the day, we have been so busy. So it is what it is, but I have finished 3 books, so I'm proud about that. The first book that I read was Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli, and this was the second book in the Crimson Moth duology. Absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed the second book. I really thought that towards the end, like the last third of the book, as I was reading, I was like, this is a duology. This is a duology. And I wanted to Google if it was actually turned into a trilogy because I didn't think that she was going to be able to wrap everything up. She did, but it was so fast at the end. It was like everything was wrapped up, I feel like, in 10 pages. And I was just like, oh, it's done. I really liked the book. I gave it 4 stars. So I did give Heartless Hunter, which was the first book, 5 stars. And I was really looking forward to the second book. And I was on a wait list for weeks and weeks and weeks. But I did give it 4 stars. I was happy to finish a book because I did not finish that book until April 13th. And the last book that I had read in March was March 23rd. So that is like a really long time for me to go for not reading, like completing a book, I mean. And this book, Rebel Witch, I read it in a day. I read it like Saturday, Sunday. So it wasn't like I had been reading it from the end of March. No, I read it like the 12th and the 13th. The second book that I read was actually a reread for me, and that was a book, Cultivate by Laura Casey. It's a very encouraging book. It talks a lot about her adoption journey and having a second child, and it's very, very encouraging to me, and I enjoy that book quite a lot. So I gave it 4 stars. I was just looking for something to listen to while I was doing some stuff around the house, and I figured that that would be a good one because I have read it before, so it wasn't like I was going to be taking notes on the book, which I often do when I'm listening to nonfiction or reading nonfiction. I'm always taking notes about it. Then the third book that I finished was Feel Good Productivity by Ali Abdaal, and I gave that book 4 stars as well. There was nothing revolutionary to me in the book, but I did really like the way that he framed goals as nice goals instead of SMART goals. And I cannot remember exactly what the acronym stands for, but because, brain fog, but I will put it right here. And I just thought that that was a really good way to describe goal setting, and I like his YouTube channel and listening to him talk. I've listened to some of his podcast episodes with Greg McEwen and Cal Newport lately, and so I wanted to read his book, and I feel like I have read and done so much research about productivity that I don't really need to get more information, but I do like to hear how other people frame similar information. And so if you like productivity or goal setting or books like Essentialism and Slow Productivity and stuff, I think that you would enjoy this book. So those are the 3 books that I read in April. But there are so many new releases coming out in April or that have come out in April, and I am on waitlist for all of them, and the waitlists are so long at the library. Like, I don't even know. I probably just need to make the decision that if I want to read these books, I'm probably going to have to purchase them, most likely on Kindle, because it's usually less expensive that way. So the first is Fearless by Lauren Roberts, and that is the 3rd book in the Powerless series. I really want to read that. The next book that I had on my list is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, which I saw somebody on Instagram saying that she is marketing the book as a thriller, which surprised me, or like a mystery or something like that. So I don't know. I have to look into it. I'm not one to read the synopsis of a lot of different books. I kind of just will go in completely blind, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not afraid to DNF a book, so it doesn't really bother me, but I don't necessarily want to purchase books if I don't know what they're about. And I've seen some other people say it's not a thriller. I don't know why they're marketing it that way. So anyways, the next book on my new releases that I really want to read is by Abby Jimenez, Say You'll Remember Me. Again, I'm so far down the list on the library. I probably should just get it because I really enjoy Abby Jimenez books. I think I've usually given them 4 or 5 stars. So the next was Bridesmaid by Chance by Megan Quinn. Megan Quinn's books are always a toss-up for me. Some of them I really like, some of them I give like 3 stars, and they're just not, I mean, they're good, but they're not like excellent. But sometimes her books are on Kindle Unlimited, so I will check there. And then the last book is Summer in the City by Alex Astor, and I think this is her adult debut, although I also consider her YA books adult as well. That's just me. But those 5 books I really want to read, and I don't have them, and I don't foresee getting them for, it seems, probably months and months from now. It'll be like December before I can even access those books from the library. So I think I really need to decide if I want to just purchase them and read them. I don't like to read a lot of physical books at night. I usually read on my Kindle anyways, and I haven't had time during the day. Although May is also super busy for me, so maybe I shouldn't bother trying to purchase them right now because I'm unsure that I will be making a lot of progress on reading in the month of May. Even when I'm reading for 5 minutes a day, it's just not enough to actually finish books. So I'm going to share some of the books that I have from the library, and I keep renewing these because I want to read all of them, but I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. So the first is Get Your Life Back, and I actually got this. I've already renewed it once, and I am about 3/4 of the way through. This is the first book that John Eldredge wrote on this topic, and then this came out like right before COVID, and then he wrote a second book in 2022, which I cannot remember the title of right now, and that one actually came first from the library. I wish that I had read that. I wish that I had read this first and then the next one. I do really like it. He is kind of disjointed when he's writing. It doesn't flow as well for me, and I had the same complaint with the other book. A lot of really good, helpful information, but it doesn't seem to flow as well as I would like. I'm hoping that I can actually finish this book this week because I don't have too much left to read. I've mainly been reading this a little bit each morning during my morning routine, but I would like to just kind of power through and finish it so I can return it. The next book that I have is Secrets of Adulthood by Gretchen Rubin, and I love all of Gretchen Rubin's books. I've talked a lot about the 4 tendencies and how I'm a rebel over the years. I think her first book that I read was The Happiness Project, and that was years and years ago. Really, really enjoyed it. I did not know that she was coming out with a book, and I didn't know anything about this book, and then when I got it, I realized, okay, it's just like little quotes or proverbs or teeny tiny little bites of information. So I kind of have to be in the right mood to read through this. It's not a book that you like sit down and read through, you know, it's more, they're categorized. So tough decisions, and then you can read through the stuff on tough decisions, temptations. Let's see what else they have. Creativity is another one. So I have not read this yet, but I probably will just sit down and read through it in like one sitting. It might be helpful for me. And there are some journaling pages in the back, so you can add your own quotes. It almost reminds me of like a commonplace notebook where you are writing things that inspire you and categorizing them to different areas of your life. So this is the next book that I'm hoping to get through quickly. We will see. Then this one is Blood Beneath the Snow by Alexander Keddington, and I have not started it. I actually think I saw this on Instagram and it wasn't available on Kindle Unlimited, but my library had it, so I grabbed it. I haven't started it. I don't know what it's about at all. It just says romantasy, and that is kind of my thing. So I can't recommend it, but I did see it and it looked interesting and I like the cover. So the next book I have is Variation by Rebecca Yarros, and I love her Fourth Wing series, and I've only read one contemporary from her. I talked about this in a vlog recently and couldn't remember what the title was, and I still can't remember, but I really liked her other contemporary that I read. It was very sad though, and so I'm not sure that I'm in the right frame of mind to read this because I'm assuming it's also going to be very sad, but it looked good and I really like her Fourth Wing series, so I wanted to pick this up. Also because the next Fourth Wing book, who knows when it will ever come out. So I need something to fill the void. Then the next book that I have is Stanley Tucci, What I Ate in 1 Year, and I mentioned this in a vlog as well. It's essentially little journal entries about what he ate in a year, and I find that really fascinating. So books like this one, The Dirty Life, or the book Plenty, which I have, but I don't know where it is at the moment. It's probably right on my shelf and I just can't see it. I love food memoirs. They are so fun for me to read, and I have been reading these, I think, since maybe Animal Vegetable Miracle was the first food-related memoir that I read and absolutely loved that. That was by Barbara Kingsolver, and I've reread that many times. It's one of my favorite books, but so I'm interested to hear what Stanley Tucci says. I have his other book that, does it say? I think his other book is called Taste, and really enjoyed that one when I got that a few years ago from my sister-in-law for Christmas. So I am excited to read that, but again, I haven't had time to sit down to start it. Then the next book that I got from the library is How to Calm Your Mind, Finding Presence and Productivity in Anxious Times. I thought that sounded really good, and I think I saw this on a podcast or YouTube video, somebody else recommending it. That's kind of where I get all of my book recommendations. For fiction, it's usually Instagram Reels because the algorithm just knows me, and for nonfiction, it's usually when I'm watching productivity or goal setting or planning YouTube channels. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but I watch podcasts on YouTube, if that makes sense. Like, I don't subscribe to podcasts on Spotify. I don't use Spotify at all, or the podcast app from Apple. I will just go on YouTube and watch whatever is there or listen to it while I am, cooking or doing the dishes or whatnot. So I'm excited to read this. I know nothing about it, but it sounded like something that would be perfect for right now. And then the last book that I got is The Artist's Way, and I have checked this out before, but I did not read it. And it's mainly because I've been doing a lot of research on commonplace notebooks and bullet journaling and journaling in general, and I really like the idea of morning pages. I wanted to kind of read through this and see what she talks about. This is by Julia Cameron, and this is an older book, and I'm sure that you can find lots and lots of information online about morning pages. Yes, this came out in 1992. So I am looking forward to going through this, and also just to see if there's anything in here that might be applicable for Emma as she's graduating this year and planning out her future. So that is a little peek at my reading update for April. I know that I haven't completed that many books, and in fact, it may sound like a lot of books to some of you. It's not that many books to me. I'm way behind on my Goodreads goal for the year, but that's okay. I know that this season is busy and I'm not as able to take the time to sit down and enjoy books. And I also haven't really had anything that's like grabbed my attention. I think that if any of those books that I talked about coming out in April were in my hands, like when I got Rebel Witch, I read it in a day and a half. So I think that probably if I had those in hand, because I'm so excited about them, I would actually read through them. But these other books, while they are lovely, most of them are nonfiction related, and I kind of have to be in the right frame of mind to read those, and I just haven't had the time to sit and do that lately. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.